So culture exists in families, in towns, in states, in countries, and in companies, and at every level. The culture exists. Are you being intentional? Are you going to create that by design? Are you going to lead that by design? Or are you going to let that happen by default?
Welcome to this special MSP CEO episode of Sunny Silver Linings. This week, Sunny is focused on the common mistakes MSPs make, strategies to build a strong company culture, and the common challenges that MSPs face in growing their business today. Our guests today are both successful entrepreneurial MSP leaders with the knowledge and experience to help you grow your MSP. Joining Sunny today, we have Josh Gossett, CEO and founder, CoreTech, and Anthony Mongeluzzo, President, PCS. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Now, here's your host, the founder and CEO of IT by Design, Mr. Sunny Kaila. Over to you, Sunny.
Anthony and Josh, welcome to the show.
Howdy, Sunny.
Thanks,
How are you, sir?
Thank you for having us.
So Anthony, thank you so much for joining. And Josh, I appreciate you guys, and you have so much experience, and we're going to share that with the world today. We're going to start with your journey, Anthony. If you can give us a quick overview of your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, real quick overview. I mean, grew up in the restaurant industry, so saw my parents as entrepreneurs. I ended up thinking I was going to be a radio, TV, film major. College professor had different plans, kind of forged my name on a document, switched it, and I ended up getting an MIS degree. And like many good MSP owners, I actually started doing residential IT. It'll be 23 years ago. And a neighbor had an issue with a computer. Local company couldn't fix it. Think like Geek Squad. Geek Squad didn't exist then. It was a company called Debug It, which is now defunct. And then, fast forward to today. I mean, it's been a journey. You got to see a lot of different aspects of, the MSP world. And, by getting involved with and starting PCS, I ended up meeting a lot of great people. And I have a few other companies in the tech industry doing software development, cybersecurity, and things of that nature.
Yeah, wow. So starting with a neighbor to a national MSP now, and a serial entrepreneur, I should call you, being like a tech person to now a tech entrepreneur and who has multiple businesses. So great journey. And I look forward to learning from that journey today. And Josh, I would like to ask you the same question. So can you please share your entrepreneurial journey?
Happy to, Sunny. Yeah, and like Anthony, and I think it's true in our industry, a lot of people who just love technology woke up one day and were that incidental entrepreneur. I guess I'm no different. It's funny that Anthony said the word Geek Squad. My first real job in college as a 19-year-old kid was working that Geek Squad concept, fixing broken computers for little old ladies in Nowheresville, Kentucky. That was the biz. Now for me, I guess, Anthony, you could be the Goliath and I'll be the David. You really got the big business going. My company I started about 2006. We're about 12 or 13 folks strong now, and we did what a lot of people I think do, and Anthony and I included. Right, we started just loving technology. We were that geek, that nerd, taking apart Nana's computer at Christmas and playing video games. That was who we were. And just because we were good at computers, good at technology, we were the people that always got asked at Thanksgiving dinner, hey, son, while you're here, my printer doesn't print, right? So that's, I think, how it started. But we did what a lot of serial entrepreneurs do, right? We got tired of working for the man. We woke up one day and thought, I could do this better on my own, and grabbed the Rolodex and out the door we went, right? Anyway, roll the clock forward 17 or so years later. Very proud of my little MSP in Nowheresville, Kentucky. I always tell people, we have an industry that's so complex, but I promise you, if a guy from a one-horse hick town educated in the Kentucky public school system can figure this business out, anybody can. That being said, though, what you would expect, Sunny. Break fix IT shop, fixing broken computers. We woke up one day and heard this term, MRR. That changed my life. We then, evolved into an MSP, and then later came this new term, cybersecurity. And like everybody else, here we are. We're fighting the good fight, protecting businesses, protecting their assets, their identities. And for me, the journey really has been a shocking revelation that, all those 20 or so years ago, I never thought, being in residential homes, fixing broke computers, installing Norton antivirus for $29.99, we'd be here doing what we're doing. But it's been a heck of a ride, and it's a great industry to be a part of.
Thank you for sharing that. And congratulations to you both. for being successful entrepreneurs. Small businesses, they start and then they don't make it to 5 years, they fail. And you guys made it for decades, and there's just so much to learn from the success. And now let's talk about how not to be in those stats on the failure side, be on the successful side, learning from your journey. They say, smart people learn from their failures, and wiser people learn from others' failures and others' successes and others' experience. So if you had to do this all over again, starting from scratch. So I'm going to talk about entrepreneurial life lessons, Anthony. What
Yep.
do you wish you had known when you were first starting your own business?
Well, I'm going to jump back to something you said about the wise people learning from other people's failures. So I used to say this all the time as an IT guy. So what I tried to do was take the strengths of all the customers, and it didn't matter the industry, right? All of our businesses are 80% the same at the end of the day. It's sales, it's marketing, it's blocking, it's tackling. So one, that was something good that I did. The bad thing was, again, being so young, and it was I still kind of am a little bit the Tasmanian devil. I wish I focused earlier more on processes, procedures, and, other things to really, have that vision, so to speak, of the company. Even still to this day, where I'm doing a lot of stuff that I did. Once you said it, don't forget.
Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, Josh, can you please share your entrepreneurial experience?
Oh God, where to start? Where to start, Sonny? Well, I suppose I'll echo what Anthony said. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's understated how process driven being a managed services company is, and I don't think anybody on this that sees this would argue. We work in a very process driven industry, right? There's KPIs, there's best practices, and we have things like ConnectWise and IT Glue. We have all these things that are so structured. And Sonny, for me, what I wish I had known back then, and even really before coming up in education, going to college and school, I wish I understood how much bigger than me an MSP really had to be, because I think people, and myself included, we're trapped in this computer lovers mindset, and kind of the mantra of a technical expert is, if you want something done right, do it yourself. And what I have learned is that a real entrepreneur has a different mindset. And that is, if you want something done right, find the best person to do it. And I wish I really understood what I needed around me, the mentors I needed, the vendors and relationships that I needed. Because to me, Sonny, as I got into this and built my business, I decided early, I didn't want to own a job. I wanted to own a company. And so for me, it was a mindset and a paradigm shift in that way.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. I didn't want to, I didn't want to start this to get a job. I wanted to start this to build a business. That is beautiful. Because the majority of, like, including me, we have technical background, and we think being tech-centric mindset is the way to go to build your business, but it's not. So coming to our MSP challenges and opportunities, what are the common mistakes that you see MSPs are making? What are the biggest opportunities? So the question that I normally ask is, what is the biggest danger that you see in the channel, and what is the biggest opportunity? Anthony, we start with you.
So I think the biggest danger in the channel is going to be liability, especially for smaller MSPs, right? Because we're all held to such a bigger standard now with cybersecurity. I mean, I do TV for Fox 29 News, and been a correspondent with them for about 15 years. And I remember 8-9 years ago, it was wild, right? Someone called into the station. I've never seen it before. They got ransomware, right? I think the biggest threat for MSPs is to make sure that they're promoting, proper, cybersecurity practices, and that they're also practicing what they preach. Because I can tell you, there's a hell of a lot more tools and requirements now, even over the last 5 or 6 years. Forget when I started. I think the biggest opportunity for MSPs is really learning how to market, network, and grow. If you could take a technical person that maybe their nature is more to be technical and behind a keyboard, to get them out into the communities, to get them out networking, to get them out building partner programs. And look, maybe that's easy for me to say, right? Growing up in the bar business and tending to be a social butterfly anyway. But I think that's really where these MSPs are just lacking. They're told that they're so great at what they do, they don't need to do anything else, right? They don't know about balance sheets or P&Ls, or wait, I got to pay taxes at the end of the year. Like, what's going on here? So I think the opportunity is, as they get going, is to become more well-rounded as a business person and understand that you might be the greatest technician or the best, AWS person, but that's just a very small part of the job once you're running a real company.
Yeah. So focus on sales marketing, taking your value prop and being able to market that and knowing your numbers. Thank you, Anthony. And Josh, what are your thoughts?
I think as MSP, something else to think about that maybe people have forgotten, because MSP has been a thing, 20, 25 years as a construct, but also commoditization. And I think it goes back to, Sunny, your idea, and I agree with it, that there's this tech mindset. We're focused on our solution stack and our widgets and the things that we offer to clients. And those things are very important. But I also think that if you flip the perspective and think about from our prospects' point of view, and I said prospects, not clients, right? Before they come and they become our client, meaning they experience our people, our culture, our process, all the things we believe in, their perception of us is, well, we all do the same thing. And insofar as that they believe that to be true, then that only gives us one grounds in which to compete, and that's price. And I don't know about you, Anthony, or anybody else that's listening to this. I don't want to be the Walmart of IT. Okay, I don't want to compete on price. I want to compete on the quality of services, solving business issues, addressing business implications. That's where I want to be. So I think the risk is commoditization, being sort of rooted in this idea of what I would call permissions to play in the IT space. Like if you're not doing help desk and monitoring, vendor management, all that stuff, like whoop-de-doo, that was cool 10 years ago. But it's being able to communicate and to operate on a much higher level from a business aspect. I think in terms of opportunity, again, I'm going to agree with Anthony. I think, and I'm going to say something to everybody listening that might be a veritable revelation, and that is, you're not in the tech business. You're in the people business. You're here in the service of business owners, business managers, business leaders who have pains and who have goals. So you're actually running a business services organization. That's number one. Number two, your mindset should be that you're a sales and marketing organization first. Because here's the thing, having a tight solution stack, very important. Being competent at what you do, having your stack and hardware and software and all that from a technical and operation perspective, very important. Okay. However, as far as your clients are concerned, they don't care about your widgets. They don't care about your technology. They don't care about what brand firewall you have. What they care about is how does their business function as part of you helping them through the issues and implications. So to me, understanding that you're a sales organization first, you sell yourself as an MSP, you sell yourself into security. And think of it like this. We all just weathered, COVID, and times are tough in the economy. We all live this shared suffering. And if you've gone through any sort of challenges lately, maybe attrition, loss of people, cost of business, all those things, ask yourself this. If you had to downsize or shrink or make a cut, who would be the last person off the ship? Probably the person who was selling and bringing in new contracts, new agreements, and revenue every single month.
And actually, one thing to jump on with Josh, when new people come in, we do a tour of the office and all that. When I'm here, I ask them, I say, oh, okay, yeah, welcome to PCS. So what do we do? What's PCS? And they're like, oh, we're and everyone gets a little like crafty. We're the number one IT company on the East Coast. I'm like, nope, wait, the world's number one or this or that. And finally I go, no, we're a customer service company that happens to be really good at IT. At the end of the day, it's customer service first. So that's what I tell everyone.
Yeah, it's all about that customer experience that pays the bill. So at the end of the day, it's people coming together, creating some value together and delivering that value to someone in a unique way. So at the end of the day, it's people. Our product is not tech, it's people. And when I say that, it means our capability is being built by people.
People in the
Let's
right
say that
places.
again, Anthony.
I said it's people in the right places. You
People
can have a
at
lot
the
of
right
great
place.
people, but if they're not in the right spot, that's also another problem.
Yes, absolutely. And having that alignment. So that's a nice segue to our final question here is culture. So question is, what are you doing in your companies to bring in the right talent, align that talent properly, cultivate that talent, and retain that talent, engage that talent to create that value? So culture conversation, let's have it. And Josh, this time we're going to start with you, my friend.
Ooh, I'm going to be here a while, Anthony. Sorry, buddy. No, I love this part, Sunny, and I thank you so much for asking me this question because so first of all, I'm going to say this. culture will happen by accident if you let it. Culture has got to be an imperative in your business. It has to be important to you. You have to understand that if you don't have a finger on the pulse about the environment in which you're trying to create, because we talk about all the time, Sonny, that right butt and the right seat on our bus, that whole metaphor. And I completely agree with that. Culture is of paramount importance. And I'm going to give a very specific and potentially surprising answer. We could have a culture discussion probably for days on end, right? About retention and talent, gamification, hiring. I mean, there's so many different avenues you could go down. But with our limited time today, I want to answer it by saying this. I in my business, I leverage DISC as a tool. And effectively, in a nutshell, what it is, it's a way to assess a personality as they come into your business. So we can do this as a pre-hiring deal or also for existing culture. And I help MSPs with this all the time. And I'm going to use a word, and that word is fitment. And that's what DISC helps us measure. It's about fitment in our organization. How does this person communicate? In what environment are they best suited? But here's an example I'll give you. You have to think about the job role you want to put someone in. Is that job role people driven? Is it collaborative in nature? Do you need somebody who's empowered by working with others? Or is it task driven? Is it somebody who enjoys sitting in a cubicle or a server room, and is that where they're the most effective? Are they active or passive? Are they highly communicative? Are they the best person to be the face of your company? Or are they the best person to be in the back of the house managing the tech? And so for me, Sonny, I choose, utilizing DISC as a tool because it gives us such insight. Well, Sonny, the reason I think that's important to culture is if you're asking somebody to spend 40 hours a week on the wrong compensation model around the wrong tasks every day, they're going to burn out. They're going to look for another job. They're going to listen for another opportunity. And I think having a tool, a practical, applicable tool to evaluate that as they come into our business and within our business, to me, that has changed my business and my life in the last decade or so.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. So when you say on the bus, off the bus, and shuffling, like shifting from one seat to another side within the bus, so you can use DISC to do that. And when you do that, you can build a great winning team. So thank you, Josh. And Anthony, what are your thoughts on building winning team is the question.
Yep. So just to piggyback on what Josh said too, if someone's watching this right now and they're like, oh, this is great, we should start building a culture. It's like, now listen, you got a culture. You just don't know what the hell it is. So every company has a culture. I would like to say, like, our culture always started from the beginning, right? I was in college when I started the company, and it was always, about bringing people together. And I got to tell you, I had to have a culture because I didn't have a bank account to pay people. You really had to come love working here. And, we did little things at the beginning that still evolved to today, right? So Fridays, especially when we were doing small business and residential, every Friday was dead. So people were sitting around. It's like, well, hey, guess what? I got a folding machine and I got postcards and marketing materials. Listen, if you fold and mail out 200 of these things, stamp them and get them out, you could leave. Well, then it was like, well, you could leave, but have a beer with us, which led to the evolution of what we call Beer 30 here at PCS. So every Friday, everyone gets a beer. And that's across all offices, everywhere else. And we hire pretty regularly. We have onboardings for hiring every 2 weeks. So we have the new people take the beer cart around and gets to meet everyone, say hello, things like that. Sounds silly. It's great bonding. We limit it to one. No one's doing shots. No one's getting crazy. It signifies that it's 3:30 on Friday and the weekend's coming. The second thing that we do used to be weekly when we were smaller. Now that we're bigger, we do it every other week. We do a company huddle. And basically what a huddle is, we update everyone across every office what's going on. And it's not just about the tech or good job, bad job. For instance, a couple of years ago, we put solar up at the building here. I can tell you, anyone at PCS knew the progress of that solar building. So by having these regular huddles, we're keeping people on the same page. And then the third thing is really just understanding, like, now I'm going fast because obviously we're not going through the whole thing. Everyone knows the PTO and time off and all that stuff. But, we joke around, but it's an unofficial title with two people in the company called Directors of Nighttime Entertainment. What we try to do is do fun events where we get the spouses involved and things of that nature, whether it's go-kart racing, axe throwing. We do our holiday party every January, not to interfere with everyone's home parties in December. And we rent out an area, and there could be 200, 300, 400 people there, depending on the plus ones and all that. It's bowling alleys, it's pool tables, it's about 5 minutes of corporate announcements because no one really cares. They want to have a good time. So, I think people really just enjoy that. And we treat people as really the social side of things. It's like, we're not here just to do a job. We're not just here to make our clients' lives great. We're also here to really show and build the family, right? And I think that's something why we are where we're at, because people know we care. You can't fake caring. It's just, I haven't found the way to, at least yet.
No, thank you for sharing that. So what I heard you say, Anthony, is that the clarity that you provide with those, you said every other week, everyone should know what's happening, what's going on functionally, cross-functionally, and having those fun activities and everything. So communication, clarity, because they say clear is kind and unclear is unkind. And so bringing clarity to your team, what we're up to, and taking everyone, or alignment in terms of continuous alignment, continuous calibration, and then making it a fun environment, making it like more of using DISC that Josh shared, like really aligning their superior skills with the superior results that we want to produce, and then constantly inspecting what we're expecting there. That's, like I always use that okay, what do we expect? We need to inspect that with that alignment of their activities and the results, and the drivers that lead to those results are the most important numbers. And so if we do that, we can create a culture of accountability, culture of fun, culture of continuous transformation, culture of clarity, culture of alignment is so awesome. If we do that, a little bit of these, like things where we can start. But culture is culture. And I'm going to leave with this. My thought here in terms of culture is, Anthony, when I came there to have lunch with you, close to Philly, and then Josh, I know we haven't had a chance to have lunch in Kentucky, in Louisville. But what I'm sharing is that culture is there. I think, Anthony, you said that. It's just you don't know what it is. So that is there even when you travel from state to state. When you go to Pennsylvania, you can feel the culture. You can feel the vibe. You go to Kentucky, you feel a vibe, right? So I experienced that, Josh, for my first visit to Louisville. Totally different culture than here in New Jersey. So culture exists in families, in towns, in states, in countries, and in companies, and at every level. The culture exists. Are you being intentional? Are you going to create that by design? Are you going to lead that by design? Or are you going to let that happen by default? That is a choice that we as leaders have to make when it comes to culture. And if we do adopt what you have shared from your experience in terms of communication, alignment, and creating that environment which is conducive to unlocking full human potential, is where leaders will have to focus on to create a high-performing culture, high-performing team. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you both, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Sunny. I'll buy you a drink in Kentucky.
Thank you for watching Sunny's Silver Linings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.